In this lesson, let's take a break from blending modes. We've been just working so hard on blending modes, haven't we? Open up a document that's inside of your work folder called opacityfill.psd. Now I'm going to move my layers panel over so we can see something here. And let's go ahead and drag this down. You have in the layers panel, besides blending modes, you do have an opacity setting and you have something called fill. And sometimes I'll get a question, and the question is, what's the difference between an opacity and a fill command? And usually I tell people, well, try them out, see what they do, and maybe you can figure it out. So you come over here, we've got opacity selected as a layer, and that's the word opacity over here. And you can grab right here, wait for that little hand to come up with that arrow pointing through the index finger, and drag, and it does that. It goes away. It goes all the way to 0, which always interested me. Why do we need a 0? I mean, I'm not using this like I do in InDesign as an invisible object to do a text wrap. This is Photoshop. What good is a 0 opacity? And then you go to fill. We'll stay on the opacity name here. And you try the same thing. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let's go to opacity and let's change opacity to 50%. I'll type it in because I can never get the numbers that I want. And we'll go to the fill here. And now I'll change fill to 50. Do you see the difference? Well, there isn't any. Fill and opacity work exactly the same way. So we have a fill of 50% on this one. We have an opacity of 50% on this one. And it's like they don't look any different to me. And good for you because they're not any different. Now let's do this. Let's take them both back. If we go into fill, I've got something on the fill layer. So this little button over here, it says FX. If we open that up, I've applied a bevel and emboss. And if I turn it on so we can see it, you can see that bevel. This changes everything about fill. If I go to opacity, the same thing's going to happen. It's not going to be any different. But watch what happens when I go to fill. What fill is doing is it's removing the color just like opacity does. But because we have an effect, a layer effect applied, it leaves the effect. Now, the effect in this case is darker areas and lighter areas on what used to be a word, but with the word gone, and this is now transparent, it looks like it's actually beveled right into that surface. That's a really neat thing to remember about fill. Let's do this. Let me go ahead and turn on this layer, and then turn on this one. So I have the word Kripalu fog down here. And again, just like our other stuff, it's just words. That's all it is. But if I open up this button here, I've applied some effects to it. There they are. Now, if I change opacity, it all goes away because that's what opacity does. It's the opacity of the layer no matter what's in it. Fill won't touch the other stuff. Let me put that back like that and come down here and drag it. And there you go. You can see through it. Now, we can use in conjunction with fill, we can move a little bit of the opacity, maybe even soften it up that much more, and work with both of them if you want to. But fill and opacity do the same thing on a layer if there are no effects applied to the layer. Once you apply an effect to the layer, it changes everything on how fill works. That's a pretty neat thing to remember.